There is a specific kind of fever that doesn't start with a virus, it starts with a whisper. A whisper of a place where darkness cannot exist. Because even when the sun sets, the city walls radiate the golden glow of the world's most precious metal. El Dorado. Look into the eyes of the Spanish conquistadors in 1541. These were no longer men. They were hollow shells driven by an obsession. Can you hear the crunch of rotting leather boots in the Amazonian mud? Can you hear the ragged breath of Gonzalo Pizarro as he watched his men descend into madness, eating their own horse saddles and leather belts just to silence the agony of starvation? They were searching for a miracle in the green hell. But what exactly were they chasing? A city? A hoard of gold? Or an escape from the greed consuming their souls? Thousands marched into the emerald abyss. But the jungle returned only delusions. Survivors crawled back with hollow eyes, swearing they saw streaks of raw gold shimmering beneath deep lake waters. Or a golden king, gliding across the surface like a god. But here is the real shock. After nearly 500 years, modern satellites scanning the very path Pizarro took have detected strange geometric shadows beneath the canopy. Structures that nature could never have carved. Is El Dorado the greatest lie in history? Or are we simply blind men standing atop a treasure we cannot comprehend? Be careful. Once you start looking for El Dorado, it starts hunting you. The name, El Dorado, doesn't actually mean a city of gold. In Spanish, it means, the gilded one, a person, not a place. Deep in the Andes Mountains of Colombia, the Muisca people practiced an inauguration ritual that would seem like a hallucination to the modern world. When a new king took power, he wasn't crowned with jewels. Instead, his body was coated in sticky resin and dusted with fine gold powder until he became a living, breathing statue of light. The king stepped onto a wooden raft, surrounded by priests carrying baskets of emeralds and gold. In the center of the silent Lake Guatavita, he dove into the water to wash away the gold, while his people threw tons of treasure into the depths as an offering to the gods. This was the truth. El Dorado was real, but it was a sacrifice, not a bank. However, when the Spanish heard this story, their minds translated spiritual ritual into sunken fortune. Greed is a poison. As soon as the location of Lake Guatavita was revealed, the sacred site was turned into a blood-soaked construction zone. In 1580, a merchant named Sepulveda forced 8,000 indigenous laborers to cut a massive notch in the mountain to drain the lake. The water level dropped by 20 meters. They found hundreds of gold ornaments, but the price was a catastrophic collapse of the trench that buried thousands of workers alive. The Spanish crown took the gold, but they wanted more. They believed the true hoard lay beneath the thick, suffocating silt at the bottom. In 1898, a British company used steam pumps to drain the lake dry, but as the water vanished, the sun baked the mud into a substance as hard as concrete, locking the secrets of the Muisca away forever. The lake refused to surrender its soul to the greedy. But if El Dorado was just a ritual in Colombia, why did legends of a massive, golden city, named Manoa persist thousands of miles away in the deep Amazon? This is where the story takes a chilling turn. Using laser technology that sees through the trees, archaeologists have recently discovered massive urban networks hidden under the jungle floor. They didn't find gold walls, but they found something more significant: vast highways, complex canals, and settlements that could have housed tens of thousands of people. There is a heartbreaking truth here. These ruins may be the source of the legend. When the first explorers arrived, they brought smallpox. 90% of the population died before the white man ever set foot in their streets. By the time later explorers arrived, the jungle had swallowed everything, leaving only the echoes of a brilliant civilization that Bonnie shed into thin air. So, in the end, was El Dorado real? If you are looking for a city with streets of solid gold, no, it never existed. But if you are looking for a civilization that viewed gold as a symbol of the spirit and the light of the sun, rather than currency, then El Dorado was right in front of us all along. The greatest tragedy of history is that the old world destroyed a real civilization to chase a golden ghost. They melted priceless art into faceless bars of bullion to be shipped to Madrid. Today, Lake Guatavita is a protected sanctuary. The secrets of El Dorado no longer lie in the earth, but in our perspective. The greatest treasure isn't a yellow medal. It's the culture and the stories of a people we almost erased. El Dorado isn't a place to be found. It's a lesson to be remembered.